Airbnbs are getting stranger by the day. You've seen tree houses, domes, shipping containers, but the newest trend, single wides. Yeah, a trailer in the Smoky Mountains, the most competitive short-term rental market in America, where the data is crystal clear. If you're not a cabin, you don't stand a chance. But there's one Funkit Interiors client who saw an untapped opportunity in America's most competitive market and is on track to make over $70,000 a year. This is Kelly. She's a seasoned short-term rental property manager, but a first-time Airbnb owner. And she just launched a trailer that's absolutely smoking her Smoky Mountains competition. So, how did she pull this off? That's what we're exploring today. Can a single wide really compete with thousands of luxury cabins? How much does design actually matter in transforming guest demand? And what happens when you bet on yourself as an investor, even when 99.9% of people say no or you're crazy? To answer those questions, we've got to go back to where it all started. But trust me, you're gonna wanna stick around until the very end where I break down the financials because the numbers on this little trailer are pretty good. The Great Smoky Mountains are the most visited national parks in America. Over 12 million people visit a year, more than Yellowstone, Yosemite, and the Grand Canyon combined. And it's within a day's drive for half of the US population. That means road trips, family vacations, group getaways, and you guessed it, a ton of demand for short-term rentals. But here's the catch. The Smokies are crowded with thousands of listings and almost all of them are cabins. And if you don't stand out, you have no shot of succeeding.
When I first started doing management, it was cabins and they all looked the same. So very ticky-tacky, very hard to stand apart from the pack. A mountain view, cabin with a hot tub. Those are the things.
Scroll through Airbnb in Gatlinburg and you'll see the same thing over and over again. It works, but it's crowded. And Kelly was looking to zig where everyone else zagged. So what happens when you go against the formula? When Kelly decided to invest in her first property, she didn't choose a cabin. She didn't even tell anyone what she was about to do.
Well, I didn't tell anyone because number one, I thought, am I crazy? And number two, I like that shock value. So we said, we're finally gonna invest, let's find a trailer.
She wasn't just buying a single wide trailer. She was buying land, and that land unlocked possibility.
What drew us to this property was, number one, the land, 12 minutes from Dollywood. So we're really close to the Pigeon Forge Strip. There was a structure that was used previously as a carport, and we thought, game room. There was enough land to be able to have a fire pit and then somewhere to put a hot tub or some kind of water feature. So it's a little less than 2 acres, 1.75, and we paid $195 for the trailer and the land. We put 10% down. Renovation and design was about $160, so $355 all in. The acreage was really important to me because being able to have an experience outside as well as the potential for another structure.
Think about that. $355,000 all in for almost 2 acres in the Smokies. Practically unheard of. And don't worry, we're gonna get to a full financial breakdown in a second. But Kelly knew that the real value wasn't the trailer itself. It was how she transformed the property into an experience. And here's the part that I really admire. Kelly didn't just close on the property and call in a bunch of contractors. She brought in friends, family, and even employees from her cleaning company to get this thing built. Sweat equity became her greatest resource.
Me and my family, we did a lot of the work ourselves. We built the deck. We did the entire game room, concrete, aluminum on the walls, on the ceiling, put in the cowboy pool, put in the hot tub. Everything you see, our family did it. If I could go back, what I would do differently is probably nothing. This experience was great. I wanted to feel that stress so that next time I would hire it out completely.
And this is where I really related to her, because when I did my first build, I also thought I could do everything myself. Spoiler alert, it's brutal, but it teaches you lessons that stick forever. Lessons that might even spawn a YouTube channel, like this one, where 70% of you watch my free content but don't subscribe. And if you did subscribe, it'd be totally awesome because it's free. Same with a like. It tells me and the YouTube algorithm to make more videos like this. And if you really wanted to plus it up, you could even comment something like, "Rob, please make more videos like this. They're super, super helpful." Sorry, where were we? Oh, right. Yes, doing the work yourself. The The point is, it's a great way to learn, but if you want to scale, at some point you need to hire out. And that's something that I learned the hard way with one of my recent Airbnb launches. You know, I've been there myself. I had a property that Funkit designed, but I wanted to do it myself. And I did not launch this property for a year. That property does 70, 80,000 a year. And so it was a $70,000 mistake on my end to just not hire it out. I'm glad you're learning this very early on. So where did Kelly even get the idea for this?
I was scrolling and I saw Funkit on Instagram, loved every bit of how they designed the colors that stopped the scroll factor, and had to work with them. I said yes to every single thing that they showed me. The design details that I think made the biggest difference, the orange refrigerator and the comfort factors, all the way down to the USB ports.
But the real magic? It wasn't just inside. Like I said earlier, most Smoky Mountain cabins have a hot tub shoved on a deck and call it a day. What Kelly did was she turned her land into the actual experience itself. Cowboy pool, fire pit, hammocks, and an entire game barn. See, at Funkit, we see this nationally. Badass backyards lead to badass results 100% of the time because guests don't book houses, they book experiences. And if you want help designing an experience like Kelly's, feel free to book a free call with Funkit. I'll leave a link in the description down below for you if you're interested. So, did it work? Well, within moments of going live, the trailer was swarmed with bookings.
Immediately. 2 minutes. It was crazy.
Really?
Like 14 that day. We have actually gone up to 700.
Per night?
Yes.
What?
Our average is about 230. Labor Day was hot. It went up to 450. We're already getting the holiday bookings at like 700.
2 minutes in and the trailer was already proving everyone wrong. It wasn't just working, it was working instantly.
My hopes were about 66,000. And I think we're gonna go above 70.
So let's run the math on this project, or as I like to say, let's break it down. Kelly paid $195,000 for the entire property. She put down 10%, which comes out to $19,500, and she spent $160,000 in design and renovation. So she spent $179,500 out of pocket. But of course, the total investment, if you include the price of the home, comes out to $355,000. Her mortgage comes out to $1,800 a month, or $21,600 a year. Her cleaning expenses come out to about $1,250 per month, or $15,000 a year. And her utilities and outdoor maintenance, about $1,000 a month, or $12,000 a year. That's roughly $48,600 in annual expenses. So if she grosses $70,000 a year in revenue, that's a profit of just over $21,000 on $179,500 cash invested, which puts Kelly at around a 12% cash on cash investment, which honestly I think is pretty good these days in the Airbnb space because generally speaking, I'm targeting like a 10 to 15% cash on cash return. But here's where this one gets really interesting. This property is zoned for 2 structures, which means that she could add a whole nother trailer without duplicating the amenities. She could use the same fire pit, the same cowboy pool, the same game barn. She could double the revenue, lower her marginal costs, and that, my friends, is what we call a land hack.
We've got bigger plans than just the single wide. It's zoned for 2 structures, so we're absolutely gonna add another structure. We're not sure what yet, maybe a tiny house. I see this as a multi-income land play because we already have the investment in the amenities. We already have the space, so it's amazing.
And that's what separates good investors from great ones. You don't just stop after proving the concept, you double down. And this is what I call the destination method. Building properties that aren't just stays, but full-on experiences. And if you want to learn how to build out and launch one-of-a-kind Airbnbs like this one, then you're going to want to check out my destination method case study linked in the description down below.
When I first ran the numbers, I thought the property would do about 45,000. After the design and after looking at the comps, I had a little bit of a higher hope at about 66,000. Now I'm very confident that we're gonna hit 73 or more. We have 24,000 already on the books.
Out of curiosity, how does this single wide compare to the performance of your other 30 plus rentals that you manage?
I manage cabins, houses, but yeah, this one's number 1 right now.
Let that sink in for a second. A single wide, outperforming cabins, lake houses, and big family rentals in the most competitive short-term rental market in America.
This project taught me to break the rules, to trust my gut and look for the ordinary properties and figure out how to make them extraordinary.
To say that this is your first short-term rental gives me goosebumps, like literally, you killed it.
And it's a trailer.
And it's a trailer, but it's the world's greatest trailer, and I love it, and that's why we're here.
If I had to give advice to someone who has not yet jumped into the investment Airbnb scene, do it now. You always think you're too late to the game. It's never too late.
And that's why I love this story. It's not about a trailer, it's about believing in yourself. In a sea of cabins, Kelly proved that experiences beats the standard formula. She bet on herself, she proved the impossible, and now she's doubling down. And if you're wondering what doubling down looks like on an even bigger scale, how one property can grow into a full-blown micro-resort destination, I recently featured my student Janice, who did exactly that. You're gonna wanna click this story next. It's a very good one, can assure you of that. See you over there. After you like and subscribe. Don't forget to do that. Okay? All right, see you over there.